My name is Chenny from Gofinger Holdings, product manager of TestRay app inside Jira. Welcome to today's micro webinar. Today, I'm going to introduce requirement management capability inside TestRay. First of all, let me launch a Jira project from my Jira. So here, first of all, I want to introduce the requirements page. So this is a central space from where you can manage all your requirements. So we have already done a filter at the back end. So any requirements you created from this project will be listed. Secondly, we have requirement suite feature, which you can create a folder like draft software requirement, and then you can put your requirement inside. For example, let me link this 34 to this draft software requirement. So I can simply link and then give my issue key there and link. After that, the requirement will be listed here. So this is very easy for user to group their requirements for a specific purpose, for example, draft or the ones you are currently working on. So let me expand the first one. You see here, I have two requirements inside. So I have categorized my requirement with a folder way. And then if you want to break down your requirement, you can keep going like us, like TestRay like this way, to create hierarchy like this way. For example, in my case, the first level is epic. Then I break my epic to two software stories. And then I keep going to break down my first user story to two tasks. So if you want to create one more child requirement, it is quite easy. Just click on this add task button, and then let's say child task. Once the creation is done, you see a child task has been displayed here. This is how you to build your requirement hierarchy. Now let me go inside a requirement issue. I have my description, I have my parent, child requirements, I have my test cases there. And for requirements, sometimes we may need to create a version for that. For example, I have already reviewed. Now I want to create a snapshot of my requirement. You can simply go to this more menu and then create version like Chenny reviewed, create. Then we have this versions tab to do versioning of the requirement. You see here, there are already three requirement versions created. So if you want to trace the change happened during different time, so you can simply select two versions and then do the compare. And then let me show only changes. You see here, the highlighted ones means those are the updated or added. You see in the first version, the status is to do, and then now the latest version is in progress. So this is our versioning feature. If I go back to my requirements page again, refresh here, you see the second tab, baseline. So you also can do baselining of your requirements. To do your baseline, actually, it is kind of a versioning feature for a set of requirements. For example, for version 1, you want to freeze your requirement and take a snapshot. You can create a baseline for all of your requirements. And then for the maybe second version or the second sprint, you can create another one. So you see the version number is here. If you click on this version number, you also can track the versioning information from each single requirement. Sometimes if you want to compare baseline, you can use or compare baseline feature here. Let me switch baseline 1 and then baseline 2 and then compare. So you will get this comparison dialog box. It will show how your requirements, I mean, a list of requirements changed from one version to another. You also can export those comparison result to a PDF file or Excel file to change what has been changed from a list of requirements. Now let me go back to my requirements again. So as I mentioned, so you can build your requirement hierarchy here. You also can build your test cases from your requirement directly. And if you want to trace more, like, okay, I have my user story, I want to see my test cases, I want to see more about the testing result, you can simply expand your test cases, and then the execution details is displayed here. If you click on this, the result or execution details dialog box will pop up. So this is kind of traceability from requirement to test case to test result and to defect. So this is also our requirement feature. So think about that. You have a list of requirements and they have been covered or tested by a list of test cases. So definitely you want to know the traceability metrics. I mean, from this version or from this sprint, I want to see from requirement until the defect. Then we have a single page traceability metrics here. Click on that. We give you different options to filter your requirements first. So you can filter by type, by status, whatever. So also you can save your search to a filters here. Let me just select this one, Sprint 84 filter. So it will filter all the requirements from Sprint 84. And here is the test plan from where testing has been done. This is the traceability matrix. So from the matrix, you can read the requirements from your search, and then the test cases which were created to cover your requirements. And the second column is the test plan from where the execution is done. In other words, it is the test result. And then if you see a defect icon, it is a defect created from the particular test case. In other words, this defect is also created from this requirement. So this is the traceability from requirement to test case to execution result and until the defects. So everything is here recorded in this report. So let's go back to snapshot reports. We also have some kind of requirement related features. You see here, requirement based report. This is also give you a report for a list of requirement. For example, you can just type something like sprint and 84. And here I want to choose the result from this particular test plan and then choose all the cycles and generate report. So it will give you test case execution status report from each different requirement. Let me go back to summary report. You see here, there are a total of 4 requirements from that particular sprint. And here shows all the test cases associated to those requirements. And here are the results. So if you go to detailed report, you will get very detailed information. For example, here is the requirement, and there are total of 4 test cases. And then those are the test executions from this particular test plan. And here result shows passed or failed or etc. It shows all the required information. Now let's go inside one of my requirement. Again, you see this is the epic. Inside the epic, I have 2 user stories. If I go inside one of my user story, so I have parent, I have child. So sometimes we may need to clone a requirement, right? Clone a requirement means I want to clone this requirement. Maybe sometimes I need the same set of test cases to be cloned. So here we have a feature which is called Synaptic Clone. So you can choose whatever you want to clone. For example, you want to clone another set of child requirements and test cases, you can just give clone option here. For example, this is for new app, and then clone it. Now the clone is done, you see. Similar requirements are cloned. You see here the prefix new app, that is the one I created. Now you can simply just go inside and make some modification to make sure the new clone stories are suitable for your new scenarios or for your new product or new components. So this is also part of our requirement management feature. So beside this one, we also have some other tiny features for requirement management. For example, here, still go back to requirements page. On the right side, we have some test case count number and test plan number displayed. And also, sometimes we may need to export the requirement and to do some review or add some comments. It is quite easy. You can just use this export option to export them as Word document or PDF document, and then you can send it to any, for example, stakeholders, something like that. And you even can export from folder level or from each single requirements. We also support import requirements to your Jira system. We hear a lot of customers that they have a lot of requirements in the Excel file, and then they want to import them back to Jira. So actually, if you use or import option, you can import even with such kind of hierarchy information. So it can be created by or import. And also, if you have existing test cases, those test cases can be linked by your import option. Yeah, it's pretty much for today's micro webinar. If you have any question or if you are interested in your product, just reach out us at sales@goldfingerholdings.com. Again, thanks for joining, and I hope you have a great rest of the day. Thank you.